Hi there, welcome. It is October of 2025, and I am live as usual on Friday. It's cutting a little bit close this time. My flight just landed. I just got home. So I was wondering if I was going to be doing this from the car, but I'm here. It's good. And it kind of fits the topic at hand. When to know and how to ask for help is going to be today's live that I'm going to try and give a couple tips on things that I do that help to make tight deadlines, tight schedules work for me and what it's going to mean. So tip number one that I have is to actually limit work in progress. And I know we talk about this all the time, but truly I have a massive list of things to do. And I very intentionally yesterday kind of said, okay, what's my top priority? What's the order that I'm going to do them? I'm not going to focus on anything else because otherwise I can't get things done, right? We know the research, we know the leprechaun that multitasking is, and yet we still try and get this done, get this done. But I knew exactly what my top priority is, what order they had to go in, what was going to happen. I kind of, maybe that's my project manager brain that comes out a little bit. I had did the critical path factor and what that was going to mean. And sure, I could have fit something else in maybe a minute before I was going to do this, but nope, I knew exactly where my focus was. And I would rather just give myself that moment to kind of breathe, to be present for a second, than to try and squeeze something in and then potentially miss this or be late for it or get distracted. And so I really, really pay attention to prioritization and work in progress because it clearly helps me to highlight when I need help, right? Like if something were to go wrong, what was I going to do? What was my backup plan? Which leads into my tip number two is creating a list of who I can ask for help, when I need to ask for help, what I need to ask for help with it. And it gives me kind of that dynamic, my husband was picking me up from the airport. If for some reason my flight was going to be late, what was that going to mean? How was I going to play into it? And it is crazy by just taking time. Clearly, that was a personal example, but it's clearly just taking time on even in a work kind of place to even list out who are the people you can ask for help from. When and how can you ask for help from them? And sometimes just having, again, that list that's prioritized. Maybe this is just my checkmark brain coming out, honestly, but having that list helps me to not feel overwhelmed in the moment and go, oh yeah, I can ask this person for help. So a lot of times I have that list, and I'll even, side bonus tip with this is I even rotate that list because sometimes I don't want to ask for help because I feel like I asked that person for help too much in the workplace. And so a lot of times I'll renew my list, update it, rotate it so that it doesn't feel like I'm overburning somebody, which then makes me more willing to ask for help. I can't say I'm very consistent about that tip, but every time I do it, every time I rotate it, it completely helps me. Not only because when I do reach out to that person, it feels fresh, it feels new. I don't feel like I'm, being a pain to somebody, but I also get to reconnect with that person and why that person's on my list and how important they are on my list and what they do for me. So it's a small little thing, but it's really useful, especially if you feel that stress in the moment. You can't even think about who to ask. Well, if you already have a list, then and that's, I think, the part that comes in for me is okay, it's a reminder with that. But even when I do have my list, even when I do have prioritization, even when I do have a limit to what I'm trying to do, and I know I need help, even when I'm rotating, I can still feel guilty about asking for help. Maybe that's the imposter syndrome coming out of me. Maybe that's just not wanting to bother people, right? Name the reason, I can come up with it. Okay. And one of the things that I actually got to experience this week is it's crazy because when you're the person giving help, it doesn't feel like a burden. It doesn't feel like all those justifications, all those reasons that I can come up with to not ask somebody. But when you're the person giving help, you don't feel any of those. Like, I'm grateful. This week I was able to help somebody in multiple different ways. And as they were leaving, they wrote me a little thank you note. And I kept the note. It wasn't a burden to me. It wasn't a problem to me. In fact, I'm not so sure I didn't get more out of this week working and helping that person than they helped me or that I helped them. And so there are times that I have to remember and remind myself that there is value in being asked. There's a respect when you ask somebody for help. There's a value that you are giving to them by asking for help. There is a service that they're getting to help and deliver that's of value. And I'm so grateful every single time someone knows that they can, that they feel comfortable that they can, that they do ask me for help. And yet somehow I translate that when I'm asking somebody else for help as a burden. Like, it doesn't even make sense. And so I think one of the other elements to asking for help is giving opportunities. When I ask for help, just this week, just recently, I asked for help from two friends to do mock interviews for somebody. It's a volunteer thing. It's a bonus. It's over the top. It's not required. And both of them, without hesitation, agreed to do this for me. I needed help, and I reached out. And not only did they do it, they did it beyond levels I could have ever even expected, hoped for, wished for, because they're amazing at what they do. It's why I asked them for help. It's not a shock, but it's something that we think of it so transactional of what I get that we forget what they get. And so a lot of times, I often think of as leadership sometimes when I do that quick task, when I really should empower somebody else to doing the task, I now try to think of that as stealing their task. And I don't think it's quite exactly the same, but there is some element of when I'm not asking for help, I'm stealing an opportunity from somebody to grow their teaching skills, grow their service dynamics, to engage and connect with me. Now, I don't want to sound it like I'm giving you an opportunity to, right? Like it's not really exactly the same dynamic, but there is something there. And as long as I hold on to that nugget of it, that sliver of it, the piece of it, it makes it a little bit easier and safer for me to say, I need help and I'm going to ask for it. So those are three of the tips that I kind of do when I'm asking for help, just when I get my own head, and they haven't failed me. So hopefully they're helpful to you, and you'll be more willing to ask for help when you need it. And I wish you all the best. I hope you have a wonderful October. I hope you have a wonderful October. I don't have many public things remaining for the rest of this year. This month, I'm doing one class on helping teams make decisions. I think there's only a couple spots left in it. It's a virtual offering, so check that out if you'd like to. And then I'm doing one more Leading Amazing Teams course virtually with Jake before the end of the year. That is now posted. I think it's in December, so check that out. And I believe I'm still headed over to Star Canada next month, or actually this month. It's October. It's October. So I think I'm headed over to Toronto and Star Canada this month. That is an event you should check out as well. Otherwise, I will see you back at the beginning of November for the next live.